Welcome back to the deep dive, where we try to take all that complex knowledge and really find the core insight.
Mm.
And today we are taking a plunge into maybe the most intimidating topic in all of theology, the Trinity.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those ideas where you feel like you're standing at the edge of the ocean.
Yeah.
You wade in a little, you feel the sand under your feet, and you think, okay, I've got this. And then just the floor drops out from under you.
That is the perfect description, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed. And, our source material for this deep dive says that's exactly the problem. We try to climb up to it with our brains.
Right, with charts and diagrams. Like, it's a math problem to be solved.
Exactly. But the mission here, the whole approach, is different. It's framed as a revealed truth, something that heaven kind of bends down to give us.
Yes. The sources point to Matthew 11, where it says, these things are revealed to little children.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being smart enough to figure it out. The goal is to have just enough understanding, to rest, but never enough to boast.
So for our deep dive, we're not using advanced calculus. We're using a simple story centered on a very common object, a single coin.
And the coin works because it's like simple enough to hold in your hand, but it's also deep enough to make you wonder.
Mm.
It lets us get close to this untouchable idea
Yeah.
without, trying to solve the mystery. We're just looking at its three sides, heads, tails, and the edge.
Which will represent the Father, the Son, and the Spirit.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the first side, heads.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at an old coin, the head side, with the face of a king or an emperor, what's that really saying?
It's pure authority. It's not just decoration. It's a statement. It says, one, this has a source.
Right.
Two, this is backed by real authority. And three, maybe most important, this isn't fake.
This isn't counterfeit.
Exactly. Heads basically screams, you can trust where this came from.
And the connection is immediate. The source material links heads directly to the Father. He is the source.
Yes, but we have to be careful with that word. Not source as in a beginning in time, but as a relational origin.
A relational origin, what does that mean?
It means all divine life eternally flows from him. Like when the scriptures say, from him are all things, or just the simple name, our Father. It's about his position, his role.
Okay, so this gets to a key question people have. Is the Father by himself fully God?
100%. Yes. He doesn't share a piece of divinity. He is divinity. Just like the head side is the coin. It has the full essence of the coin in it.
But then, if he's the source and he is fully God, why isn't he the only God?
And that's where the mystery starts.
Right.
Because the coin is not only heads. If God were only the Father, he'd be this unapproachable, unknowable origin with no way to express himself. The source calls this fullness in one, yet one is not all.
So there's more to God's oneness than just that single face.
Exactly.
Okay, so if the Father is the unapproachable source, how do we ever get to know him? That, I guess, brings us to the other side of the coin.
It does. It brings us to tails.
The speaking side.
If heads is the authority, tails is the identity. It's the communication side. It shows you the coin's value, its purpose, its story. It's whispering, here's what this is all about. Here's what we want you to see.
And that is the Son, the expression, the visible truth of the invisible God.
Every description of Jesus in the source material points to this. He's the image of the invisible God. The Word became flesh.
And the big one, when he just says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father.
That's it. He isn't a different God who just looks like the Father. He is the perfect eternal expression of the Father's own nature. And just like heads is the coin, tails is the coin, he is fully God.
He doesn't just get some godness poured into him.
No, it's not like metal getting hot. He just is that divine essence eternally.
Okay, but this brings up another big question. I mean, if the Father is the source and the Son is the expression, and the Son is sent by the Father, does that mean the Son is, subordinate, less powerful?
Yeah, that's a huge point. And we have to be so clear here. In their essence, in what they are perfectly, absolutely equal. One God.
Okay.
But in their relationship, in their roles, there's an order. The Father is the source. The Son is the expression. It's not a power structure like a boss and an employee. It's an eternal, necessary distinction in how they relate within the Godhead.
So about roles, not rank.
Perfectly put. It just deepens the mystery. The source calls it the seen and the unseen, belonging to the same essence. Shows that there's more to God than one single expression can ever contain.
So we have the source, heads. We have the expression, tails. But there's a third part. The part you feel every time you hold a coin, even if you don't really look at it.
The part that's almost invisible yet always felt.
Edge.
And it's so often overlooked, but it's critical. If heads and tails give the coin its identity, the edge gives it its integrity.
What do you mean by integrity?
Well, what does it do? It holds the whole thing together. It provides the structure. It prevents the coin from being, shaved down or corrupted. It keeps heads and tails in one single, unbroken unity. The edge says this stays whole.
And that's the Holy Spirit.
That is the Holy Spirit. His work is often quiet, right? Like breath, like wind, like a whisper. It's felt more than it's seen. He's the presence that binds everything together.
This helps answer another question people ask. Is the Spirit a person, or is it just like God's power?
Yeah.
And energy.
Right. And if he were just a force, he couldn't do the things the scriptures say he does. He actively seals us. He unites us in one body. He dwells in us. These are personal, dynamic actions.
Well, it's a he, not an it.
Absolutely. He is the one who maintains the unity. He reflects his own nature as the eternal bond of unity inside the Godhead itself.
Let me push on that a bit. If the Son is the image, the clear revelation of God, why do we need the Spirit for unity? Doesn't the Son's expression already handle that?
That's a great question. Because the Son is the objective truth revealed to us, but the Spirit is the one who brings that truth into us.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who makes it a subjective reality in our lives. We can't know the Father, the source, except through the Son, the expression. And we can't actually enter into that relationship except by the Spirit, the bond. He doesn't borrow divinity any more than the others do. The edge is the coin. He's the personal mystery of God within, God around, God binding, God alive.
Wow. Okay, let's try to bring this all together because the analogy is great, but it leads us right back to that original riddle. Heads is the coin. Tails is the coin. The edge is the coin. Each one is fully the coin, but none of them alone is the whole coin. So if the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Spirit is God, why aren't there three gods?
This is the absolute core, and we have to pause here because getting this wrong is the difference between a mystery you can rest in and a contradiction that just breaks. So we have to start with what the Trinity is not.
Okay, let's listen. What are the big errors the source material warns us about?
First, God is not three gods. That's just polytheism. Simple enough.
Okay.
Second, and this one is a really common trap, he is not one God switching masks or, changing forms. The ancient name for this is modalism.
Let's talk about modalism for a second because it feels simpler, doesn't it? Why is it wrong?
It's tempting, but it destroys the whole idea of relationship within God. Modalism says God was the Father in the Old Testament. Then he put on the Son mask to live on earth, and now he's wearing the Spirit mask.
So if that were true...
Who is Jesus praying to in the garden?
Right, himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Who did the Spirit descend from at Jesus' baptism? They are eternally distinct persons who are always in relationship with each other. It's not one actor changing costumes.
Got it. And the third big not.
They are not slices of divinity. Not the Father gets a third, the Son gets a third, the Spirit gets a third.
Like a pie chart.
Right. That would mean God's essence can be divided, which it can't. We're talking about one indivisible divine nature.
So back to the coin. The Father has 100% of the coinness. The Son has 100%. The Spirit has 100%. What is the positive definition that makes that possible?
The sources are clear. One God, three persons. The whole key is understand the difference between essence, what they are, which is God, and person, who they are in relation to each other.
Source, expression, unity.
Yes. They all fully possess the one divine essence, but they do it without dividing it, and critically, without blending into sameness.
So their oneness isn't about being identical.
No, not at all. It's unity, not uniformity. They are one in what they are, but distinct in who they are.
And they always act together.
It's unanimity, not copies. They have one will. And this is maybe the most beautiful part. It is oneness bound by relationship, not partnership.
What's the difference?
A partnership is separate beings choosing to work together. This is different. Their relationship is their eternal identity. The Trinity isn't a contradiction. It's a doctrine defined by eternal, internal love.
Which brings us back to that word from the beginning, elementary. We think of elementary as, basic or simplistic, but the source material gives it two powerful meanings. First, as the foundation of everything.
Simple and central, the core.
And second, as something even a child can hold, something clear, something you can trust without having to, master it intellectually.
And that's why we complicate it. We want to master it. We try to climb up to it with our logic.
Yeah.
We try to fit God into categories we already understand.
And that's why those other analogies fail, isn't it? Like the water analogy.
The ice, water, steam one, a classic example of modalism.
Because it's one substance changing its form.
Exactly. And then there's the egg, shell, white, yolk.
That's the slices of divinity error, partialism. No single part is the whole egg.
Right. But the coin, as imperfect as any created thing is, at least it holds that central truth.
Heads is fully the coin. Tails is fully the coin. The edge is fully the coin, without changing, without being divided.
It preserves that essential truth. Father, Son, and Spirit are each fully God, and yet God is and is always one. The Trinity isn't meant to be a riddle to confuse us. It's meant to draw you closer into the very life, the love, the relationship of the one God.
Profound enough to fill eternity with wonder, yet gentle enough to be known in a single whisper of faith.
And that really leaves us with a final thought for you to take away. The whole thing is built on this idea that God at his absolute core is defined by relationship source, expression, unity. So if God's very identity is this perfect internal community of love, how does knowing that change how you relate to yourselves, to others, to the world? Does that divine blueprint for being perfectly one, yet perfectly distinct, maybe challenge our very human ideas of what unity and love are supposed to look like?